Welcome to our Wednesday Wisdom Circle. It is June the 4th already. Holy cow. Beautiful day out this morning here in Kelowna or Peachland where I am. I hope it's beautiful where you are if you're somewhere else. This morning, I want to dive into a topic that I've been exploring, and I can't believe that it's been so late in my life that I've been exploring this concept. And it occurs to me that maybe some of you also have not explored this concept fully, and it could be helpful. And this is the thing I want to talk about is self-compassion. Now, self-compassion in my world had been sort of tied up with the idea of victimhood. And so I wasn't very good at accessing it. I'm weak and how I should know better. And like all of that. In my efforts to not be a victim, I actually tend to operate in a space of over responsibility. And I will tend to admonish myself more than I would others. But what I realized was I can't actually have compassion, deep compassion for others if I don't have it for myself. If I don't have an apple, I can't give you an apple. So how the heck would I give you compassion if I don't have any for myself? And it's almost embarrassing to me that I'm 53 and I've been teaching yoga for so long and this is just like occurring to me now. Like, what the fuck? How does that happen? But I think it comes to us right when we need it, right when it's the lesson that we can absorb, we can learn. And so I wanted to explore this morning because this is a big teaching in yoga and in Buddhism, mostly in Buddhism. But what if self-compassion is not weakness, but it's a courageous act of alignment? The practice of meeting ourselves with kindness when we fall short, and when we struggle, and when we're just human. And in doing so, we get to soften that internal battle, but more so we can deepen our relationships and kind of return to the truth of who we are. Because if I judge myself for something, I am inevitably judging everyone around me for that. And that is going to erode my relationships. I'm all about making my relationships deeper and better all the time. And I can't believe I missed this piece. So I feel like I'm a pretty smart woman. Maybe some of you are missing it too. So we're gonna dive in here this morning. So there's a story in Buddhism that I've come across it a few times and I got it intellectually, but it kind of just really struck me. It's not even a big story, it's more of a little parable. Um, the Buddha says, when touched with a feeling of pain, the uninstructed person sorrows, grieves, and laments. He is struck by two arrows. The first is the pain itself. The second is the suffering from resisting it. The first arrow is life's inevitable pain, divorce, rejection, loss, mistakes, all of those things. The second arrow is the suffering we create with shame, self-criticism, guilt, comparison. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I should know better. We're inflicting the second arrow. So self-compassion is what removes the second arrow. That's beautiful, right? Like self-compassion is what removes the second arrow. In yoga, of course, we talk about ahimsa, the first yama, which is practiced externally, but true ahimsa, when I teach it in yoga teacher training, I talk about it in like how we speak to ourselves, our inner dialogue. Ahimsa means non-harming. Well, if we're saying things like, you should have known better, how is that non-harming? Like our inner dialogue is harming ourselves. And therefore, there's everything outside of us is a projection from in here. So we're harming out here. Yoga also talks about daya or compassion, that's rooted in empathy. The Bhagavad Gita says it describes the yogi as one who feels the joy and the sorrow of every being within their own heart. That includes your own being, the joy and the sorrow of every being within your own heart. Now, loving kindness is a meditation in Buddhism that it's to try to extend love to other people and to ourselves so that we see ourselves as a part of the whole. Now, if we look at it and if we look at self-compassion this way, if we are all connected to each other and all things, and therefore everything that I think and I do has an impact on everything in the cosmos, then me withholding compassion from myself is harmful to all of creation. Like, think about that. So, I've been reading Kristen Neff's book called, it's just called Self-Compassion. Great book. And at first, this is me, I'm like, meh, shmeh, I don't need this shit. I'm good. And about three-quarters of the way through, I'm like, oh, I really need this. This is good. Well, I should probably be more compassionate. And it's come about mainly because of how many adulting fails I've been having lately. I mentioned this before, but like forgetting to take out the garbage to the curb and like I don't know how to start the lawnmower. There's so many things that I'm like learning that and failing at. And now I'm just like giggling. So here's my big self-compassion moment from 2 days ago that I'll share with you. I was proud of myself that I finally figured out how to like start the big giant weed eater gas thing, weed eater that we have now. My ex-husband was 6'3". He's a big guy. He could carry this. I can barely lift this thing, but I got it started. Weed eated most of the front of the house, but not around the berms, and because it ran out of like the spool of the string that does the. See, this is how much I know about with the thing that. Anyways, and I was like, I don't know how to change that. So then I YouTubed it and I still couldn't figure it out. And I was like, well, I'll have to get my dad to do it tomorrow. And I looked out at the lawn. I'm like, just around those berms, it's like, looks terrible. And I'd really like to get it done. So you know what I did? I was like, well, I just went and got the kitchen scissors and I cut the grass all around the outside. And the neighbors were looking at me like I was crazy. And I was like, hey, you know what? Good thinking, Pam. Good thinking. It looks beautiful. I got the. So my moment of self-compassion led to a little bit of ingenuity instead of just, oh, why can't I do this? So I just thought I'd share that little moment with you. My dad was quite embarrassed that I did that. I thought it was pretty smart. Anyways, if we can picture ourselves as human beings, kind of as the ocean. And when challenges like that happen, it's like the storm on the surface, right? And we can be in this storm and self criticize and try to resist and figure it out, but we just create more turbulence. But self compassion is like taking a deep breath and sinking below the surface where it's still and quiet. And then we get creative, we get ideas, we get to just meet ourselves with kindness and descend into the deeper truth that there's nothing that we need to be that we already aren't. So, if you're, let's just say that you're a leader in some capacity in your family, in your workplace, in your community, and you're berating yourself for not doing enough, you're going to create the environment where people think that that's the way to do it. So, we're modeling self berating as a pathway to leadership, which is really crappy. And I think I've done that in my life. Um, if you're someone who's just trying to do everything right all the time, and when you don't get it right, you're, you're harsh with yourself. You're also modeling that for the people that are watching you, and projecting the message that we all have something to get right. I've shared this before, but I'll share it again because I think it's very relevant. Baron Baptiste says, there's nothing to do or fix or figure out, and there's definitely nothing to get right. He says at the end of your life, there's only two things: what you said and didn't say, and what you did and didn't do. Everything else is made up. There's only what you said and didn't say, and what you did and didn't do. Everything about that is made up. I think that leaves us lots of room for compassion. So I'm kind of been examining like what are some harsh things that I've said to myself. And to me, it's always like I should know better. Like I share this work with people. I have these understandings. I study all these yogic principles. Like I should know better. That's not compassionate. I'm replacing that with, I'm allowed to be learning. And if my best friend was going through whatever I'm going through, what would I say to them? That's a good pathway to self-compassion. Looking at where in your life you're trying to earn your worth or prove yourself is also a way to kind of access places where you're maybe not in self-compassion. And this is the big question I have for all of you today is, what's one thing you're ready to forgive yourself for? What's one thing you're ready to forgive yourself for? And it's the first thing that just popped into your awareness. Withholding forgiveness is energetic violence. Withholding forgiveness is energetic violence. So, yeah, that's just what I wanted to kind of bring this morning is where could you perhaps allow yourself some space for grace, different from not taking responsibility and being a victim. It's different to just say, yeah, like I'm allowed to be learning and I'm allowed to be messy and I'm allowed to make mistakes. And sometimes it's hard. And I'll keep going, but sometimes it's hard and that's okay. So let's meditate and maybe take you through a little experience of self-compassion. Hey, close your eyes. And settle into your seat. And then just take a full deep breath right up to the crown of your head and hold it there. And then slowly let it out your nose. Take another big breath through your nose. Hold it at the top. Now take one more sip of air. Open your mouth, let it out your mouth. And now just let your breath return to its natural rhythm and witness it. There's nothing that can be wrong with the breath. It's a natural co-creation. You and spirit, you and the universe. And you get it right every time. Now place one hand over your heart and the other over your belly. Just feel the warmth of your hands. Feel your breath rise and fall. And you just hear the whisper from the back of your mind. I'm safe. I'm here. I am absolutely allowed to be human. Now, differently, just conjure up a vision of your younger self, maybe 5 or 6 years old. Could be 16 or last year, doesn't really matter. Just a younger version of yourself. maybe at a time when things were hard and you were ashamed that you didn't know what to do. See that version of yourself with the eyes of love. And imagine that version of yourself with pain in your eyes, asking, am I still worthy even though I messed up? And you nod yes. And you say to that version of yourself, you're allowed to struggle. You're allowed to be learning. You don't have to carry this alone. I love you. Now picture a warm golden light surrounding the two of you. Soft, steady, warm, golden light is the light of compassion. It doesn't ask you to be perfect. It just asks you to stay. Let this light expand around your whole body. Let this light expand with your breath into your nervous system, into your whole being. Feel the radiant warmth of this light of compassion and hear its whisper. I'm allowed to be in progress and still be whole. I choose compassion over perfection. This is the way to peace. Now, with each breath, just imagine that you're stoking the fire of this beautiful golden light. It becomes bigger, more radiant, more warm, and maybe expands out beyond your skin. And let your whole being bask in this light. Now bring your attention back to your physical body. And draw your awareness to your feet, your seat, your crown, your fingers, your toes. And then take a full deep breath into your whole body. And a big sigh out your mouth. Release any judgment, criticism, negative self-talk. Let your eyes flutter open. I am so happy and grateful for this particular teaching presencing itself in my life right now, and I hope that it's valuable for you. I'd really love if we could share some gratitude this morning in the space. The original intention of this circle was not just to hear me talk or share. It's really an opportunity for us to come together as a community and elevate the vibration, if you will. So if anyone would like to share anything this morning, I would be happy to unmute